Alright, have my Crash Bandicoot mug full of coffee, so I'm ready to go. So let's get into the news of this video. So unfortunately, some bad news for horror fans, as THQ Nordic just today or yesterday announced that they have delayed the release date of Alone in the Dark reboot from October 25th to all the way to next year, January 16th. So it's been delayed almost 3 months, and they really didn't tell the reason for the delay, but I mean, very commonly it's just that the game needs some extra time to polish, and if that's the case, it's very welcomed. They can take all their time to polish the game if they felt that they needed some extra time, that it would not be ready for October release. But I also have a feeling that they didn't want to say it, but the reason could be one other horror game coming in October. You guess it, Alan Wake 2. I mean, they would have been released pretty much at the same time, only 2 days. Alone in the Dark would be 2 days earlier than Alan Wake 2. And you know, maybe THQ just knows that Alan Wake 2 will be a huge game. There's a huge fan base. It would probably get all the attention, or majority of the attention, for October horror title. So if that's the case, it's a very smart move to actually delay to next year, because then they don't have a direct competition against Alan Wake 2, and they could fare better with Alone in the Dark's release on January. But yeah, I mean, if that was really the case, that they felt that, okay, we need to delay this game, otherwise it would be quite a struggle to get the attention of gamers. I mean, comparing Alone in the Dark, I mean, not the whole series, but the Alone in the Dark reboot and much highly anticipated sequel of Alan Wake. Alan Wake 2 will, I can say it already here, it will sell better than Alone in the Dark, period. Like, I would be immensely surprised if that would be other way around. So yeah, Alan Wake 2 will sell a lot better than Alone in the Dark, even though still better if, and now that Alone in the Dark is coming January. So, and you know, comparing those two games, Alone in the Dark, yes, it's a very well known, of course, horror game series. Pretty much one of the first, you could say the forefather of survival horror, is Alone in the Dark, the original. But still, Alan Wake 1 was a huge success. And again, when they released Alone in the Dark Remastered a couple of years ago, I think it was a huge success to release it on modern consoles. And that kind of paved way to the sequel. I mean, back then I could see that their decision to release a remastered version of first Alan Wake was to really refresh those memories and gamers who really fell in love with Alan Wake, like myself, that the Alan Wake is not dead. It's still very much a thing. And yeah, I saw that coming when Alan Wake Remastered was released. First thing I thought that, okay, this must be the reason for that the Alan Wake sequel is in the making. It's coming eventually. And I was right. I remember back when Alan Wake Remastered was released, we still didn't know about the existence of Alan Wake 2, I guess. Yeah, Alan Wake 2 was not announced yet back then. But yeah, so, comparing now Alone in the Dark reboot, so I'm not talking about the whole series, just a new game against Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is much more mainstream. It's much more favorable to mainstream audience of gamers. So yeah, and the reason why Alone in the Dark might struggle with selling well is the number one reason is the recent, I mean not recent, but the earlier titles that were quite poorly received. In my opinion, I myself enjoyed the Alone in the Dark, the first reboot in 2008, I think. Yeah, the Alone in the Dark that was released 2008 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and PC. I really liked that game, even though there were some really big issues with the game, clunky controls and, glitches, and there were so many issues with the game, but still at the core the game was pretty good in my opinion. I liked it. I finished it, I think, 2 times. But yeah, and I'm not even talking about the PC only online game, Alone in the Dark Illumination. I never played it, but all I heard about it was a pure fucking mess. So I didn't bother, and of course it was PC only. And back then I was already moving towards, console only gamer that I've been for the last 10 years about. So yeah, I mean, Alan Wake really needs to be successful with this new game if they want to revive the series from the very deep shite that it unfortunately fell to. Uh, so yeah, I really hope and I'm praying that the THQ and THQ Nordic and devs, I can't remember the name, but I really do hope that they succeed with this game and they will revive successfully Alone in the Dark series by doing for once a very good game, or at least good game. Okay, the 2008 game was good, but it was definitely not very good or brilliant. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, well, I had plans, and I still have plans to buy both. So now that they are not coming at the same time is actually a blessing to me, because I have a limited amount of money. The money doesn't grow on trees for me, so this will be a good chance to actually just buy Alan Wake 2 on October before Halloween and save money to Alone in the Dark in January after the Christmas and holiday season. So this, for me, this is kind of a blessing in disguise, if you could say so. So yeah, whatever the reason was behind the delay, I hope that they will benefit from it and that it will mean better sales for the game coming January than October. And if they really felt that it will not be a finished product or very polished product, take your time, polish the game as much as you can, because you really this time, this is your chance, THQ. You really need to be successful with this, or otherwise, if this game will be bad and it will be received poorly, it could mean end to the Alone in the Dark series. And I really mean that. It could mean the end for the series, and I really don't want to want that. I really don't want that because Alone in the Dark series to me is very nostalgic, and I just love the series, even though there has been a couple of bad games or just average. So yeah, Alone in the Dark reboot delayed to January 16th, and hopefully that will mean good things. Like I said, polishing the game more, don't have a direct competition with Alan Wake 2, etc. etc. Anyway, enough of this, and again, see you in the next video.